Hey. What's going on, guys?
I like that new introduction that we have.
How is everyone? It's, I guess, the Monday after Thanksgiving
Yeah.
for Americans.
Mm-hmm.
How was your Thanksgiving? To everyone else in the world, how was your Thursday?
How was it? Hopefully you made a lot of turkey.
And Americans, how was your Black Friday? Did you murder anyone at 5 a.m.?
Yeah.
Trying to get into Walmart to buy that Pikachu toy?
Or push anyone over in Bath & Body Works to get those 3 for $3.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, guess what? Now you're in jail because you tried to get your Pikachu doll. Because you murdered someone. I'm trying to start this podcast light.
I could tell.
Thanks.
I could tell you were just trying, you know?
You know what I think it was? I think this year has been like slow. Well, the last few years have been slower for Black Friday in person just because everyone's shopping online now.
Yeah, and I think the crowds got too crazy that stores stopped having as good of deals.
Yeah.
Have you noticed that?
I never really find a lot.
Yeah, there's not that many good deals out there.
And if, like, all the... maybe this is just recently, but everything I want is never on sale.
Right.
It's always, like, random stuff, you know?
Mm-hmm. So then it gets to a point where it's like, I'm just buying stuff that...
is not on sale.
It's not on sale. And I don't need.
Right.
Just because it's on sale.
Like, I'm sorry, I don't need a 55-inch TV. I have a TV.
I mean...
And a lot of the deals are just like, wow, you can get it for $50 off. Well, it's like $5,000, so it's not really that good of a deal.
Right. The sales aren't like that good where you're like, I have to get this now.
You know what I have heard, and I don't know how true this is like, okay, say there's a TV for $1,000 normally, like outside of Black Friday. Mm-hmm. On Black Friday, some stores will say, wow, this TV is $1,000. It's usually $1,200.
Oh, so
they up the quote unquote original price to make it seem like you're getting a good deal.
But you're really paying
the regular price. So everyone goes in, oh my gosh, I'm getting a good deal. You're getting literally the same.
That's shiesty.
Yeah, again, I don't know how true that is, but like I've heard that.
I mean, it wouldn't surprise me because it's like a marketing tactic.
Yeah.
But like...
you're literally getting the same amount of money.
But also if you think about it... Listen, I'm not saying $200 is not a lot. And
right.
$200 is $200.
Right.
But if you're already going to spend $1,000...
Right.
That's not that much...
Yeah.
...of a deal for the 12. But...
yeah.
People hear sale and they go
well, like you said, like a lot of the deals like aren't that great of a deal.
No.
Like I've seen a lot of deals where it's like you buy one, you get the second one like half off or whatever. It's like, first of all, I don't need 2 TVs. I don't need 2 pairs of shoes. I just need the one.
Well. I could take 2 pairs of shoes.
Okay, I literally have 1 pair of shoes for everything.
I think that's a girl thing, but...
Probably. Some guys.
Yeah, for sure. But, I don't know. I just feel like Black Friday isn't that big of a thing anymore.
No, it's more... I mean, everything's online now.
Yeah.
Like, literally, you can get anything on Amazon or...
Mm-hmm.
Walmart.com.
Anything.
You know? Yeah.
I do know this year, though, I think a lot of people are trying to go more small business, too.
Yeah.
Just because they know small businesses are, like, suffering right now.
I saw a stat that was, like, Jeff Bezos, whatever, the Amazon guy. There was a study that said if he gave all the tens of thousands of employees that Amazon has, if he gave each one of them like a $10,000 bonus,
I saw that.
He would have the same amount of money that he had at the start of this year.
Interesting.
So
See, what I
clearly-
heard is that he could give every one of his employees $105,000,
Oh, I'm sure.
and then he would still be as rich as he was before the pandemic. So of course.
So that makes you think, like, okay, who's profiting off the pandemic?
Well, but see, here's the thing though, because I showed my dad, and I was like, "Is this true?"
Yeah.
Or like I was just showing him, like, "Oh my God, look!" And he's like, "I mean, no, because he probably has stocks, and that's where half of his fortune is from. So he doesn't have liquid cash. Like, it's not all liquid cash that he has.
Yeah.
So in order for him to sell off his stocks, it would impact the employees.
Yeah.
So like, yes, he could do that, but then it wouldn't be like he
Right.
was just giving everyone his $105,000 of his money. But I think you're right. Amazon does profit off of the pandemic greatly.
Yeah. Well, it's the whole, like, theory. What's actually fact is that, you know, the big corporations are the ones that are profiting off this. And
Oh, 100%.
I've seen, I don't know if we've talked about this before, but I've seen businesses in our area that have gone out of business because they can't afford to.
Yeah.
So
My
it's like-
sister went to a restaurant and they were like, even though we can do carry out,
it's not the same.
it's not the same, and we won't survive
Yeah.
this another 3 weeks of
Yeah.
not having any in-house like seating.
Yeah.
I'm like, and that's sad.
Yeah. My coworker's wife lost her job at a restaurant that she's been at for years and years because of all this. It's like, it's the rich and powerful who literally are getting more rich and powerful.
Right.
And the rest of us are like, I don't know.
Well, I think it's because this whole pandemic has become so politicized
Yeah.
that, like, if Republicans bring up a good idea, the Democrats don't listen. If the Democrats bring up a good idea, the Republicans don't listen.
Yeah.
Instead of actually being like, wait a minute, both sides have valid points.
Right.
Let's see what we can do. They're just like, no.
It's like, wow, if everyone worked together, if Republicans and Democrats worked together, if these massive corporations worked with small businesses,
It would, yeah.
if politicians actually worked for the people.
I saw something online, not to get, it doesn't say what politician, but it said, have we tried sacrificing a politician to the gods for the virus? Maybe that will help.
I feel like at this point, like, anyone would do.
Anyway, yeah, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, they're all kind of terrible.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
They're all corrupt
Yeah.
on both sides.
And if you don't think that your politician is corrupt, like, you're part of the problem.
I think it's just the territory of being a politician.
Right?
And then everyone, this is about, well,
Why do we always venture off into
I don't
politics?
know.
It started so innocently.
So lighthearted.
Anyway, happy Thanksgiving, guys. It's the season of togetherness. Enjoy.
We can kind of, wrap it up. We want people to be unified.
Yeah.
Thanksgiving.
Right, yeah. Journeying into the holiday season when everyone is supposed to be joyful.
Right?
We're not gonna be.
No.
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 No, now. No joys allowed here.
No.
Not in America.
If you're not happy, if you're happy, you're doing something wrong.
I want to live the American dream where I'm depressed all the time. It's the new American dream.
Yeah, right. Sounds so bad.
If I'm depressed, hey, something's going right.
Right. Also, you have to be an activist. And stand up.
Okay. Literally pick your topic.
Just choose. Oh, man.
Anyway, the main topic of this podcast was, kind of talking about, like, big city life versus, like, small town life.
Mm-hmm.
Because you and I both live in pretty small towns in Michigan.
I say so.
Like, well, I mean, obviously compared to, like, big cities, right?
Yeah.
Like,
for sure.
It's not, like, our Milford and Commerce in Michigan, and, I mean, it's not like our populations are, like, 20 people, but it's
they're not like...
Yeah, it's not that tiny, but, like, relatively small.
I would say so.
Like, they're not... especially Milford is classified as a town, like a township, I think. It's not a city.
Well, I think Commerce is the same way because I see signs for it. But I feel like there's that section, like, of Milford that's closest to downtown is considered a village.
Yeah.
The village of Milford.
Yeah.
And then the outskirts of it is the township.
Yeah.
But I feel like, Milford is considered a township.
But you even think about places close to us like Novi and Ann Arbor. I think those are technically cities. Like the city of Ann Arbor.
Yeah. I would say Ann Arbor's even, like... Well, it's a college town. So it's not, like, a small town compared to us. It's a little bigger, but it's not a city.
Yeah.
I think it's in the name it's a city.
Yeah.
But it's not like Detroit or Chicago.
Yeah, I mean, if anything, it's like a small time city.
Yeah.
Like, Ann Arbor, Lansing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I would agree.
What's the difference between, like, a small city and a town? Because I know cities have, like, mayors. I think townships just have kind of like a board of directors or something. Because I know Milford doesn't have a mayor.
I don't think Commerce does either.
No. They have, like, I know there's a board.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe there's just no mayor.
It's a whiteboard. You just scribble notes on it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's how we solve things here in Michigan.
Yeah, but, I mean, that... Oh my gosh, I know that growing up in a small town has got to be so different than living in a city, like, especially as a kid.
Absolutely.
I mean, not that we would know what that's like. So have you lived in Commerce, like, growing up?
I lived in West Bloomfield, but, like, right on the border of West Bloomfield and Commerce.
Yeah. So, like, not a big city, though.
No.
No. Yeah.
Mm-mm. My mom grew up in Boston, though. So I've kind of heard how she grew up. And that's a big city.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
But.
I think big cities are, like, the ones you hear about, you know, like the famous cities like New York, LA, Miami, Austin.
Yeah, Boston.
Austin and Boston.
What other? Seattle.
Yeah. Portland. I mean, half of the cities in California are big cities. It seems like.
Legit.
Beverly Hills, San Fran.
Yeah.
Oakland.
San Diego.
Yeah. Sacramento.
Yeah, they have a lot out there.
Yeah.
They do.
Yeah. You wonder why they're so democratic.
Yeah, right?
It's literally all big cities.
No wonder.
All these progressive people, man.
You know? Well, and that's... And it's interesting because you think, why does living... Like, what is it about a big city that makes people more, like, liberal and progressive?
I don't know.
I think there's a lot of diversity in big cities because that's where, if you're going to come into the United States or even, like, European countries, like when I lived in London.
Yeah.
You're not going to go to, like, some small town in England.
Right.
If you're immigrating there, you're going to go to the bigger city.
Yeah. I think, like, if you live in a big city, you just have, like, a certain just personality type.
I agree.
As compared to, like...
I think you kind of have to in order to, like, enjoy living in a big city.
Yeah.
Because it's a different style. It's a different way of living.
Yeah. It's like the big city. It's, like, fast-paced. Everyone's always moving.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's tons to do.
Mm-hmm.
Where if you live, like, in the farmland, like, there's not a whole lot. Like, it's kind of slower.
Yeah.
Slower paced.
But even in, like, the bigger cities in like the South, like Atlanta. Well, I don't know about Atlanta, but like Nashville, you felt like it was a bit faster paced, but it wasn't like a New York fast pace.
Yeah, there are the cities that are like almost seem, I don't want to say low key, but almost, right? Like New York is obviously insane. LA is insane.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like there are those big cities that kind of like aren't quite that insane. Like I don't know how Boston was.
Well, Boston is crazy.
Is it?
But the thing about Boston is like, you know how like, cause Royal Oak, you know, like here we have Royal Oak, and that's kind of like 20-30 minutes from Detroit, right?
Yeah.
Or even closer.
Yeah, even closer, I'd say.
So you wouldn't look as Royal Oak as like an extension of Detroit.
Right.
But like in Boston, their suburbs that are on the outskirts of the city are very much almost like an extension of Boston.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. So like Royal Oak, you can get a house like not the price of Detroit.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas like if you go to a nicer area in the suburbs of Boston, you're going to be paying like city prices.
Oh, I'm sure.
For houses. So like it's Boston, there's certain areas like if you go to the North End, which is like the Italian end where there's a lot of mafia.
Yeah.
Supposedly.
Andrew, is there something you're not telling us?
Blink
twice if you're part of the mafia.
Right? Not Italian.
Okay.
You're right. Secretly, no. It doesn't feel like it's super fast paced there, but it's definitely that city feel of like, I don't know. There's a lot of history to it, so I think like it feels different than if you go to like LA. Yeah. Whereas like Boston, like me and my friend were walking to meet my cousins, and we just rounded a corner. She's like, "Oh, look at this really old house." I was like, "Oh yeah." Yeah. And then we looked, we're like, "Oh, that's Paul Revere's house." We're like, "Oh,
right."
Okay.
Yeah.
Randomly have Paul Revere's.
Right.
So I think that's what's different about Boston is there's lots of history there. Yeah. So it doesn't feel as like huge. Right. Like skyscraper kind of city.
Yeah, yeah. Well, the East Coast is a lot of like history, like Virginia. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so they don't feel
Washington, D.C.
skyscraper-ish.
Yeah.
Whereas if you go to like, I've never been to Seattle, but like we're LA, like downtown LA, it's very skyscraper. Yeah. New York is too in certain areas. Yeah.
I feel like, maybe this is just me, but I feel like the East Coast and the West Coast just have different like personalities almost.
They do.
Like I feel like New York is very, in terms of people, like very mixed. You know, like it's a little bit of everybody almost. Whereas...
Oh, for sure. For sure.
Whereas you go to like LA, it's like, oh my gosh, it's literally copy and paste. Like every person, you know? It's like, it's like a bunch of wackos out there.
Well, what I do know from people...
Why do I want to move out there again?
I said it, not you. You said it, not me. But what I know about LA, or like, it seems like there's a lot of diversity there, but it's in like sections. Yeah. If that makes sense. Where it's like this town is more like they have little Armenia out there. Yeah. Or like all the Armenians are in one kind of little area. Like, so people like segregate out there, it seems like. Yeah. I don't know if that's true, but. Yeah. Whereas in the East Coast, it's just like, whatever.
Yeah. Like, it's, yeah. Like, I know America's, like, considered, like, a melting pot of a lot of different cultures, and, like, New York is that.
Yeah, because it has Ellis Island, right? That's where people came in.
Yeah. So, literally, the city, like, Long Island, Brooklyn, all that, it's just, like, everyone is just mixed in together. It's, like, there's no... Yeah. I don't know if there are, like, different neighborhoods with different people, but, like, I'm sure it's all
I think they have Little Italy.
Do they?
I think.
Yeah. But I feel like New York is really packed together.
It
Where I
is.
feel like LA, San Francisco are a little more spread out. At least.
That's what I mean by that, like,
Yeah.
skyscraper feel. Like,
Yeah.
when you go to New York, that's one of the reasons I didn't like it. Because it felt so cramped.
Yeah.
Just even...
I mean, Long Island is just packed. Like, there's nothing but city on Long Island.
Oh, okay. I haven't been there, but...
And Brooklyn is pretty tight.
Yeah, I heard...
Queens, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we just stayed around, like, Manhattan.
Okay.
But even then, it was, like... That felt very cramped.
Yeah. It is a massive city, and it is tightly packed, so it's just...
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, it's fun to visit, but, like...
Yeah, I wouldn't want to live there.
Yeah.
No. If I would move anywhere, it would be Boston or LA.
You love your Boston.
I do. I love Boston.
And talk about, like, complete opposite
They are.
parts of the country.
They are.
West Coast or East Coast?
Yeah, Boston, you have the massholes. They have that reputation for not being the nicest.
Yeah, it's like Boston tough, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And then I feel like West Coast is just so chill.
They are.
Kind of.
Yeah. But it's like all liberals out there, you know?
So is the East Coast, though.
Yeah?
Yeah. Boston's very liberal.
Okay.
Massachusetts is, I should say.
Yeah.
I feel like Maine and a lot of the East Coast is very liberal, too.
Mm-hmm.
But...
That is one thing about New York, too, is, like, we know about New York City, but, like, what about the rest of New York?
Well, that's why, not
It's
to
like-
get too political, but why people, when they say that the Electoral College shouldn't exist, it's like, no, because then cities
Yeah.
would just be deciding every
Right.
election.
Yeah.
And the Midwest would have, like, no
Right.
say.
Yeah. But, like, you could have New York into, like, northern New York State. Like,
Oh, it's
there's
like
not a lot.
farmland.
Yeah. There's not
farmland.
a lot. It's like Nevada, too. Like, there's just Las Vegas. Like, what else is there in Nevada?
Reno.
There you, oh, cool.
And that's it.
Yeah.
Well,
Like a few...
I mean, think about Washington. There's only Seattle.
Yeah.
Where else in
Right.
Washington?
There are only a few states that, like, have a lot of cities. Like, Florida, I feel like, has quite a few. Like, Miami, Orlando.
Yeah, Fort Lauderdale.
Yeah. And they're kind of spread out.
Yeah.
Like, I know Miami is, like, way south.
Uh-huh.
Orlando, I think, is a little north.
Orlando is 3 hours from Fort Lauderdale, so it's
Yeah.
like 3 or 4. It's probably 4 hours from Miami.
Okay. And then, obviously, like we said, California has, like,
All those.
a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. And one we haven't mentioned yet is Chicago.
Chicago's interesting.
Yeah. Again, that's one of those states that, like, just has Chicago, and, like, what else is there in Illinois?
Literally nothing.
Yeah.
Literally.
Literally.
I feel like, yeah, because Illinois doesn't have, well, Naperville, but that's not even a big city. My aunt lives in Naperville.
Okay.
But I wouldn't even consider that, like, a city,
No.
like Chicago.
Yeah. Chicago's fun, though.
Yeah.
Dude, honestly.
I would not want to go there now, but.
Oh, yeah. But, oh my gosh. Chicago-style deep dish pizza is
Best.
the most amazing. Like,
Hands over better than New York.
sorry, New York. Like, it's
Don't
okay,
come at
but,
me.
like, no, that, like, you cannot compare with
You can't.
deep dish.
No.
Oh, it's so good.
Mm-mm.
There's a spot called Gino's East.
I was going to say Gino's.
Yeah.
Gino's
it
is
the
where.
best.
Gino's where it's.
Like, I've been to some other places in Chicago that have the deep dish, and it's good, but
Gino's
East,
is where it's at.
oh my gosh. They do it right.
Oh, for sure.
Hey, Gino's, you want to be a sponsor on a podcast?
Sponsor you. No, Gino's for sure. I know there's another big.
Yeah.
And I know it's like a competition
Mm-hmm.
there,
Yeah.
but I've always liked Gino's
Mm-hmm.
better.
Yeah. I love the crust, the sauce, the cheese.
I know.
You can just get a cheese pizza, and it's amazing. Like
Mm-hmm.
you don't even need any toppings.
I'm telling you, it's that deep dish.
Yeah.
It's the best.
Yeah.
It's the best.
Like my favorite deep dish in Michigan is Jets. And that's like really, really good.
Oh, they have good deep dish, yeah.
But it's like it doesn't even compare to Gino's East, you know?
I like Papa John's deep dish.
Do you?
Yeah.
I'm trying to think if I've even had Papa John's before.
Really? They have good pizza.
Do they?
Yeah. They have good pizza.
Yeah.
But,
oh, dare we even talk about Detroit? Listen,
that is one pet peeve I have about people in Michigan who are like, let's rebuild Detroit. And I'm like, have you been to Detroit? Have you been there?
You're the person that has not been there.
Like,
I will say, like, there is part of it that has become, like, not that bad. Like, where they have, like, the theaters and Comerica Park and Ford Field. Like, that that area isn't that bad anymore.
No.
Like, I feel like they've tried to build that part up, but...
Yeah, and they've tried to build up, like, restaurants there, too, so, like...
But there's so much of Detroit that's just needs so much work.
It's awful.
Like, there's, like, the abandoned buildings, the boarded-up houses that are vacant.
It's bad.
It is.
Like, you don't go down to Detroit. At least I don't. Like, and I feel like a lot of people who live in, like, the suburbs, you don't go down to Detroit unless there's, like, an event.
Right.
Like, unless you're going to a Tigers game, a Red Wings game.
And if that's the case, you stay in that area.
Oh, yeah. You pull into, like, a parking structure near it, walk there, and walk right back.
Yeah.
Nothing else.
It's, like, in and out.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I know some people go to, like, there's a couple restaurants. Like, if you go to Greektown.
Yeah.
Around Greektown.
Mm-hmm.
But...
Yeah, you don't go down to Detroit just to stroll around and explore.
It's not safe.
No, it's not. Which is, like, unfortunate. Like, I want to go down there, but...
Well, we also had, like, a corrupt mayor.
Well...
Kwame.
That's...
He didn't help.
No. How long ago was that? I feel like that's been a while.
It has been. But I feel like we're still recovering from what he did.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Oof.
Who knows? But yeah. And that's what's, like, Detroit used to be a really vibrant, good, like, huge city.
Yeah. Unfortunately, it was a long time ago, but...
Yeah. Like, I'm talking, like, the 40s. The 30s and 40s.
Yeah. I don't know, man.
But even... It's interesting because if you think about the difference between living in, like, those cities and living in the suburbs or smaller towns is, like, especially during pandemic times, you have to think about it. It's got to be 10 times harder to socially distance in a big city than it is in a smaller town.
Right. Yeah, I wonder how they manage that. Especially in the bigger cities.
No, well... I mean, I can't imagine New York.
Yeah.
And, like, if I lived in New York, I wouldn't even want to leave my building.
No. I know a lot of people do, like, you know, food delivery to their apartment or whatever. Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, it's not like it's not like you can go sit inside a restaurant now.
Yeah.
Like, because everyone just does takeout only.
Mm-hmm.
Or outside seating, but I mean, in a Michigan winter, it's not really practical. Or
right.
in New York.
Right.
I mean, you get into, like, California, you can kind of do that.
Yeah.
Even if it gets chilly, like, you can put out some outside heaters.
Mm-hmm.
But, I don't know. It's tough.
Yeah. Do you think you'd like living in a big city?
I mean... This is a message to future David. Like, I hope to make it in LA. No, because, like, I do want to live out there.
Yeah.
I mean, I've always thought that, like, because I've been to LA before a couple times, and I would not want to live, like, right in the middle of the city.
Like that, yeah, downtown?
Yeah. Like, I want to live, like, in the valley or one of the suburbs.
Like Burbank?
Yeah. Well, where it's a little more affordable, one, and two, it's like, I mean, the city's just got to be insane.
Mm-hmm.
And there's so much in LA that's just a tourist trap,
Oh my God,
like
yeah.
all the tourists go there, like the Chinese theater, the Hollywood
All of
Walk
Hollywood,
of Fame.
all of Hollywood Boulevard.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I think if you're gonna live there, like, you kind of know to stay away from that area.
Well, yeah. That'd be like living in Manhattan and being like really close to Times Square.
Yeah.
Why would you do that?
Right.
Why?
Yeah. Like, even if work was right downtown, it's like I still wouldn't want to live down there.
Well, and I think that's the difference with like LA and New York is I feel like with LA, driving is 10 times more compatible.
Yeah. Because it is a little more spread out.
Is compatible the right word? But you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Like, so yeah, you can live on the outskirts.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas like in New York, I feel like driving is just not worth it.
Yeah. Like, you want to go down 5 miles, it's going to take you an hour to get there.
Yeah, it's not worth it.
No.
It's like in London.
I'm sure I could ride my bike faster than I could drive a car.
Yeah.
In the city.
Yeah. Well, it's like in London when I stayed there for 8 weeks.
That's right. You were in London for a while.
Yeah. Cars, it was so pointless to have a car.
Was it?
You used half the time it was faster to use the transportation.
Yeah.
Like the tube than it was to get a cab.
Is there a city here that could compare to the lifestyle?
London?
Is it similar to New York or not quite?
No, it's not. Well, okay. I feel like there's not really one that compares. 'Cause like London, you have, it's really weird, but they have like their city of London.
Okay.
Who actually has its own mayor. Like,
Okay.
it's this little part of London. And then you have London. And so London, like, it's so huge that it's like in sections. So you have West London, East London, Southeast, Southwest London, West London. Like,
Yeah.
so it's spread out, but because it's not like skyscraper cramped.
Yeah.
And unless you get into like certain areas in, I don't know, there's certain like pockets that will have like a couple skyscrapers.
Okay.
But other than that, it's pretty like, it doesn't feel cramped like New York.
Right.
But just driving is awful there.
Is it?
And so it's so much easier to use the transportation that you just use that. You don't even get like an Uber or a cab unless you really need it.
Yeah.
So you're going to be paying like up the wall for it too.
Yeah. Oof.
But I will say, just to show you how big London is, you can get on the train and go literally 2 hours on the train, and you're still in London.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And it's huge.
Yeah. I feel like that's like the city of Britain, England.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
It's like the place where everyone goes to,
Uh-huh. Yeah, because if you go, I mean, there's Manchester.
Okay.
Liverpool.
Wales. Is that in?
Wales is its own little country.
Oh, okay.
Kind of thing. But yeah, you have, I'm sure there's a city. I know Brighton, but that's not really a city. But yeah, so Manchester and Liverpool are two other bigger cities.
Okay.
That is there, but London is like,
yeah, that's the spot to go.
The city.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because Liverpool, so London kind of has the same thing U.S. does, north and south. So like the north up there is like the harsher accent, like the more like, I don't want to say rugged, but just like more the working.
Yeah.
you know, like, people, whereas the South is, like, more posher.
Right.
More posher area. So, like, if you go to Manchester or Liverpool, and Birmingham.
Okay, yeah. Yeah.
They are more, like, have a different vibe than London.
Okay. Rock on.
Yeah. I love Liverpool.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll have to check it out sometime.
Plus, it's where the Beatles were from. So
right? I mean, come on.
you can do a whole Beatles tour there. It's great. It's like all just like a Beatles city. It's amazing.
All the great bands were from, like, England, like Beatles.
Yeah.
Rolling Stones.
For sure.
Yeah.
Queen.
Yeah, man.
They were all.
That's right.
British invasion, man.
I'm alright with that. At this point, whatever. I'm trying to think about, like, other countries that have those big cities. Like, I'm thinking, like, Hong Kong. It's got to be massive.
Yeah.
I don't know.
There's Paris.
Okay, yeah.
I've been there.
Rome.
Italy has a couple.
Yeah.
Rome.
There's another one.
Venice. I know Venice is a big one, but I don't know if that's. Well, yeah. Venice.
Yeah. Okay. What's the big city in the Netherlands?
Oh, Amsterdam.
Amsterdam, yeah.
Been there.
Have you?
Mm-hmm.
Rock on.
Amsterdam's cool. Amsterdam, I think the thing with, like, excluding London and Paris, but if you go to, like, Amsterdam and, I went to, where in Germany? I think Frankfurt.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't go to Berlin. But if you go to, like, those cities, they don't feel like cities.
Really?
Yeah, like, even we went to Zurich in Switzerland, and there were parts that felt like a city, but not like that New York, like you're in this big, giant city with all these skyscrapers and just...
Right. Yeah. You know where I want to go? Sydney, Australia.
Me too.
Yeah.
I've always wanted to go to Australia.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Just Sydney. I mean, apparently everything else is like there's nothing there. It's just the outback.
It was Melbourne.
Okay.
And Perth. Or Perth.
Then we can go over to Wellington, New Zealand.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, go over to the Shire.
A show.
That's right.
We just gotta go to the Australia Zoo. Because I love SeaWorld.
Of course.
And we can head over to New Zealand. It'll be great.
We have to go see Chris Hemsworth, Keith Urban.
Obvs.
Yeah.
It's just, that's a given.
We have to.
But
Hugh Jackman.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
It'd be interesting to see, like, the difference in their, like, how their cities are.
Yeah.
Compared to, like, Chicago or New York.
You could tweet them. Just like, hey, guys, what's up? Want to come on the podcast?
Want to talk about it?
You're welcome anytime.
But really, you guys are.
Seriously. Going back to, like, the U.S., like, what was the city in Texas that's, like, kind of, like, a really good city to live in? Like, is it Austin? That I've heard it's, like, it's just a really nice city.
I think Austin.
Was it?
It's either Austin or Houston.
I think it was Houston.
Because I know Dallas is not bad.
Right.
But...
I think it was Houston. That's
probably.
Maybe it's both of those cities. Austin and Houston.
Yeah, well, I know Austin... Isn't Austin closer to the coast?
Maybe.
I don't know.
Maybe.
I do know... I mean, when I went to... Have you ever been to Texas?
No.
Okay. I went to Dallas.
Okay.
once. It was okay.
Was it?
Yeah. Wasn't too impressed.
Wasn't digging it?
Well, I went there for a convention, so
okay.
I like, we went out for like, and explored for like 2 hours, and that was it. And it was like dead. There were no people. Right. We did see where President Kennedy was shot, though.
There you go. It's always a fun time.
Yeah, right? It's always a good, happy.
Standing in the street. This is where it happened. Yeah.
They literally have an X.
Wow.
I think, and I was like, really? Cool. And I think they said if you go into the building, because you can go into the building. I forgot the guy who shot him. Whatever his name was. Right. Whoever shot him. Like, they have an X where he must have stood. Really? I was like,
rock on.
This is not a part of happy history that you want to, like...
I'm sure they still have the theater where Lincoln was shot, too.
Do they?
No, I think the chair where he was shot in is like in a museum somewhere.
I mean, understandable.
Yeah.
It is Lincoln.
Right.
But I feel like Dallas was like, I feel like a lot of Dallas is like the business. Okay. Like, there's just like a lot of businesses out there. But I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know, man.
I feel like with cities, like, each one has their own vibe. Yeah. But I guess suburbs do that too. Like, Milford has its own vibe. Yeah. Compared to, like, West Bloomfield.
Right. Well, like we said, like, Boston is, like, the tough...
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like the tough neighborhood, you know? New York is just all over the place.
Yeah, right?
Florida is interesting because it's like you have the cities that are, I feel like, very democratic, and then you get everywhere else in Florida that's like the older people.
Yeah.
Like, get the spring breakers and then the older people that retire down there.
Yeah. Well, then you have Miami, which is very, like...
spring breaker-ish.
It's... honestly, it's more like... because when I went there, it was more, had that, like, Central American vibe.
Okay.
You know? That makes sense.
It is down there in Florida, so it's, like, closer to...
Well, and there's a lot of Hispanics down there.
Are there?
Yeah, like, a lot of Hispanics down there.
Okay.
So.
Rock on.
Yeah. It's cool.
Yeah. Yeah, dog.
It's fun.
Orlando is where Disney World is, right?
Mm-hmm.
I wonder what that city's like. Like the rest of the city.
I don't know. Because every time I'm in Orlando, we just go right to Disney World.
I feel like that's why Orlando is as big as it is. Because
it's got to be.
Yeah.
It's got to be.
I feel like otherwise it wouldn't be as popular, for sure.
For sure.
Yeah. I don't know.
No, I agree.
And then where's Disneyland? Because that's in California.
Isn't that in... it starts with a P. It's not Pasadena.
No. I don't know.
It's, oh my god, it starts with a P, but it's where they had the Super Bowl. No, not the Super Bowl. I don't know. It starts with a P.
Okay.
That's all I know.
Yeah.
I know the name of it. It's going to drive me crazy. But anyway. I don't know. I liked living in London, but I think I like the speed of the suburbs better.
Do you?
Yeah.
It's your style. But you want to move to Boston.
Yeah, but if you go in the suburbs, it's not like city life.
All right.
Like, I would move actually to Salem, Mass.
Of course you would.
Well, I loved it there.
You ghosty?
Yeah.
Sorry, you're a witch.
Duh. Get it right.
Oh, wow.
Get it right. No, I just loved the vibe of the city is very cool.
Yeah.
It's very cool. So.
Are they, like, super, like, superstitious out there?
Kind of, but they're very, like, I don't know, it gives off this vibe, like, you can tell a lot of stuff went down in that city.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I don't know if it's just like that because we know what happened.
Yeah.
So you just get that feeling and it's
Right.
really not emulating
Yeah.
that feeling. But
Yeah, I don't know. Interesting.
I feel like you can tell.
Yeah. You know, a city that I don't want to live in is Washington, D.C.
No.
Absolutely not.
No.
I feel like a lot of people just go there for work. Like, live there for work. I don't know.
I don't know either.
I couldn't imagine myself living there for anything
You know,
else. I don't know.
It's a very clean city.
I'm sure.
It is.
Yeah.
At least the parts I've seen.
Yeah. I think the only time I was really there was, like, whatever, like, the 8th grade trip or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't go with my school. I went with my family.
Okay.
So, I mean, it was cool.
I think that's what we did.
Yeah.
We took a family trip there.
Because it's like, if you go with the school, there's only, like, so much that you see.
Right. Exactly.
So, we got a lot more out of it.
Mm-hmm.
But it was cool to see it. But, like, I don't think I would ever want to live there.
No, it's one that you go and visit.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to live in...
Like,
one city I would definitely not want to live in is Seattle.
Really? Oh, yeah. I mean, it's always raining and cloudy and...
That's exactly why.
Ugh.
I wouldn't want to be...
If I'm moving to a city, I'm going to move to one that's, like, sunny and...
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
That's, like, honestly, partly why I want to move to L.A.
Right?
Get out of these Michigan winters, man. They're terrible.
I would either go... Yeah. I mean, as much as I say I want to move to Boston, but, like...
Yeah.
Those winters.
They're so brutal.
Ugh.
I can't imagine living in New York during a winter.
Me and my friend went and visited New York in March, and it was the worst thing ever.
I'm sure.
We were literally walking into stores just to get warm.
Right.
And they were like, do you want to buy something? We're like, no.
No.
We're just looking.
Yeah.
It was the worst.
I'm sure traffic is bad during, like, a snowstorm, too.
Yeah.
As if traffic wasn't bad enough in New York
Right.
City.
Exactly. That's the one good thing about, I know in London, in the winters, taking the undergrounds have to be great because it's so hot down there.
Yeah.
That it would feel great.
Yeah.
But let me tell you, in the summer,
Oh, boy.
when it's like, it was like 100 degrees one day.
I'm sure.
And we were on that tube, and I thought I was going to, like, pass out.
I'm sure.
Because you're, like, down there. I'm literally squished in between people. I can't move an inch.
Yeah.
Like, sardines in there.
Yeah.
And it's already hot
Yeah.
as hell. And then I'm like, okay, I feel like everyone else's body heat because I needed to get to work on time. This is just not okay. I'm going to pass out. Good thing I wouldn't fall.
Right. So my brother lives in San Francisco, and I asked him, like, okay, well, like, what happens when it snows out there? Like, and he said, like, it's really only snowed, like, recently in the last several years, like, once, and it was only, like, an inch, which isn't a lot.
I was going to say it snows there.
There was just, like, one year there it snowed an inch, but you think about it, it's like, first of all, that sucks, but also, it's got to be terrible because you think San Francisco's all hills.
Ooh, yeah.
You don't want to be on a slippery road driving up steep hills.
Right.
That's, like, super dangerous.
Yeah. No, that would be scary.
Yeah. Especially, like, parking on a hill. Yeah. Oh. You better have that car insurance, man.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Well, whenever I think of that, I always think of The Princess Diaries.
Okay.
Have you seen that movie?
Oh, yeah.
When she tries to go up the hill and
Yeah.
she's like, I can't do it. I'm like, I would not want to drive that. my car would be going back.
Right. You know, it was funny. I went to LA in February one year, and it was in 2019, February of 2019, and it was one of the weeks that in Michigan it was like 0 degrees or less. Like it was in the negatives, and in LA, it's like, you know, 60 degrees out, something like that. Like upper 50s,
this feels
60s.
amazing.
I'm like, this feels amazing. But I was talking to like the Uber driver, and he was like, guys, this is so cold. I'm thinking like,
Yeah.
should I tell him it's like
Yeah, right.
-10 in Michigan right now?
So who's gonna tell him?
I mean, I told him, and he's just like, oh my gosh, I feel so bad for you.
You're like, yeah. Enjoy the 60-degree weather.
Yeah. That's the thing is like, it was so nice in LA. I'm thinking like, this is actually nice weather.
Uh-huh. Well, I had a friend who lives in LA, and he was saying that, like, he's like, oh, it gets really cold here at night. Sometimes it gets like 40, and I was like, oh,
You poor baby.
that must be awful.
You want to come up to Michigan next time?
Right? I was like, that's just terrible.
Right.
Oh,
It's just the worst.
40 degrees.
Bless your little heart.
How do you survive?
I don't know. Here, let me dry your liquid tears while I go up to Michigan. My tears are freezing over.
Or, yeah, turning into ice. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Yeah. I don't mind the snow, but like when I have to drive, it's
Well,
terrible.
here's the thing. In Michigan, we never get the snow when you want it.
Right.
Like, you always want it the month of December because it's Christmas and you're like, yeah, snow.
Do we ever get it in December?
No.
No, of course not. We get it in January, February when we don't want it anymore.
Even March or April.
Yeah, right? Oof.
You're like, come on.
Some of you in California are like, seriously? Yeah, seriously.
Oh, yeah. We've had a snowstorm in April once.
Yeah. That's right.
It's fun. Like, it's April. This is spring.
Right? Oof.
Mother Nature's like, nah. Yeah, but you never get it on, like, in December.
No.
Or if you do, it's very light.
Yeah.
Like, I just want snow for Christmas.
Is that too much to ask?
And then it can go away.
Right? Apparently it's too much to ask.
Apparently.
I don't know, man. Life's rough.
It is.
Oh, boy.
I will say, though, I just feel like that is another good thing about living in the suburbs is when it snows, you don't have to worry about all that, like, that grid of, like, how cities are,
Right.
you know?
Yeah.
Because I feel like they have sharper turns in cities than we do.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And that in snow would be awful.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah. It's got to be rough.
One of the pluses.
Yeah. I don't know. Are we missing any cities?
I don't know.
I think we got the big ones.
I mean, I know there's Midwestern cities that we're
Right.
forgetting, like
Right.
Toledo. Well, I tend to forget.
Sorry, Ohio.
We tend to forget about Ohio here in Michigan.
What's the city that has Cedar Point?
Sandusky.
Sandusky.
Is that even a city?
I don't know, but I was thinking like that's the only reason why we know about Sandusky is Cedar Point.
1,000%.
Because like I remember driving through Sandusky to get to Cedar Point because it's on that island,
Yeah.
and it seems like small.
There's a lot of trailer parks.
Yeah. And I feel bad for those people because I'm sure like all of their traffic is just going to Cedar Point.
Oh, 1,000%. 1,000%.
Especially on like opening day.
Oh my
It's
God.
got to be rough.
Yeah. Was Cedar Point closed throughout this whole pandemic? It would have to have been, right?
I think I read a report that they were trying to open up like later in the season, but I don't know if they ever did.
Interesting.
I kind of wanted to go this year, but it would have been fun. But of course,
I like Cedar Point.
yeah.
It's
Well, I'm
fun.
sure, like, even with COVID, it probably wouldn't have been as fun.
No.
Because I'm sure they would have had restrictions if they even were open.
That would have been hard because you probably would have had to wait so long in line because they probably would have to wipe down.
I'm sure you have to wait twice as long.
Yeah, because if people got off, then they'd have to wipe everything down.
Oh, yeah. The handlebars, the seats.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
It's not even worth it, I don't think.
No.
Yeah. I don't know. You know what I do like about cities on the coast is, like, you can go to, like, piers.
Yeah.
Those are kind of fun, like Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
Or San Francisco.
Yeah.
New York. You can go to, like, the coast. You can go to the beach.
Mm-hmm.
Go visit some of the piers, because I know some of the piers have, like, the shopping areas and stuff.
Right, yeah.
Which is kind of fun.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
I just love the water. Like, I went...
I know. That's why I loved Santa Monica.
Okay.
Like, loved Santa Monica. Didn't like Venice.
Okay.
It's too packed.
You know, if I make it out to California and I don't find a job, I'm just going to be like a beach bum. Just go surfing. Try to make it big.
I've always said if I'm going to be homeless, it's going to be in California where it's warm.
Yeah. Absolutely.
It would be the worst to be homeless in Michigan.
Yeah. Like, seriously, going through those winters every year?
Ugh.
Why are homeless people staying in Michigan?
Right?
As if they could just hop in their car and leave.
Well.
But that's a different story.
You know.
That's another good point to bring up is, like, I know in San Francisco there's an area that is strictly, like, filled with homeless people. Like, it's like a...
Oh, like a Skid Row?
Yeah.
Like in LA?
Yeah. It's, like, just kind of the rough area of the city where kind of all the homeless people just kind of are.
Yeah.
You know?
It's sad.
It is. And apparently, like, according to my brother who lives out there, like, the police just don't even really care about him.
Well, I feel like that's even sadder.
Yeah. Like, you have a city that doesn't even care about you.
Well, that's what I've heard about, like, LA and Skid Row. It's like there's a bunch of homeless people and the city doesn't really do anything to, like...
I feel like you could. Like, seriously.
You know, I do know when I worked in a homeless shelter, it's a really touchy, fine line because the more... You don't want them to become reliant
Mm-hmm.
on, like, just handouts and
Yeah.
everything because then it doesn't really improve their situation.
Right.
And
like, even if you gave them jobs, like, obviously they wouldn't have to be, like, necessarily these insanely nice jobs. Like, it could be, like, literally paying them to whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Pick up trash on the side of the road.
Right.
Pay them, like, $5 an hour, whatever.
I think there's a mental health aspect of it, too, that they need to really help the ones who are homeless because of mental health issues.
Yeah.
You know, I think that...
Well, if you give them something to do that pays them, first of all, you're paying them. And also, like, if you... Like, I'm sure there are a lot of, like, abandoned buildings or areas that you could turn it into housing
Mm-hmm.
for those people. And it's like... So you're getting homeless people off the streets into cheap housing, and you're also giving them a job so they have an income.
Yeah, I'm sure there's...
I mean, I'm sure that it's a lot harder than I'm making it out to be.
Yeah,
But
I mean, there's a lot of components to it,
it
but...
seems like they could start to work on it, you know? Like, as bad as the homeless situation is.
Right. Right.
Because I'm sure most of them... I mean, hopefully all of them don't want to be in that situation. Obviously.
I would have to see how many are... Because sometimes a lot of them are schizophrenic.
Yeah.
And so that would impede on them actually being able to, like, keep the job. But if they have city jobs, then they wouldn't get fired.
Right.
Like if the city hired them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that would be interesting.
I'm sure there's more things they could do to help, but
yeah. Interesting.
Yeah. And from what it's like to live in between cities and suburbs.
Yeah. Well, I would even say, like, especially in cities, like, there's such a huge dynamic of, like, the status of people, like, not only, like, ethnicities, but, like wealth.
Socioeconomically, yeah.
Yeah, because you have people from homeless all the way up to, like, the super wealthy, like, Beverly Hills class of people, you know?
Right.
And it's all, like, it's a city, so it's all somewhat packed together.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it's as packed together as New York or a little more spread out.
Right.
Like, yeah.
Which is interesting.
Yeah.
Because I feel like in the suburbs, you don't have that.
No.
Like, it could be changing.
Right.
Even here, it could be changing. But, like, you have, like, your more expensive cities where, the wealthier, like Birmingham.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I know they have, like, affordable places there, but generally...
It's a little upper class.
It's more, yeah.
And I feel like in the suburbs and, like, smaller cities, there just aren't as many homeless people either.
No.
I know, like, Milford, I really don't see any homeless people at all.
Yeah.
You know?
I'm
sure they do that for a reason. Like, most of the action is in cities.
Right. Because I know in Detroit, I've seen them, and there's a couple in Pontiac.
Okay.
That I've seen.
Mm-hmm.
But even Pontiac's like a little city.
Yeah.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
No, I think you're right. I think in the suburbs, there isn't. Or if they are, they're not like the homeless.
Right.
That we think of, like, when we think of, like, they're sleeping in tents. Or like, I know in the homeless shelter that I went to for one of my interns, it was the people were living in their car. So they were technically homeless, but they weren't, like... It was, like, a different tier of like, where they had a job, but they lost it, so they can't afford their rent.
Yeah.
Instead of just being, like, I don't even have a car. You know, like...
Right.
Different level.
Yeah. It's interesting.
It is.
Yeah.
So it's not as, like, out there, I guess?
Right.
Or doesn't seem as intense, but I'm sure it feels it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
I don't know, man.
We just try to solve all these world problems.
That's what's going to happen on this podcast.
There you go.
It's going to be great.
Right? I don't know.
100%, man.
You know?
Yeah.
It's cool.
It is cool.
I don't know. So you would like a city. Would you like a city more than a suburb?
For right now, yeah.
Sounds like you want, like, a suburb near, like,
yeah.
like a better city than Detroit.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I've obviously, like I said, like, I want to be out in LA, so, like, but not in LA, so, like, somewhere kind of outside, on the outskirts.
Yeah.
First of all, I mean, you live in a city, no matter what, it's going to be more expensive.
Well, for
especially
sure.
in California.
Oh my God.
So going somewhere a little cheaper.
Housing is insane.
Yeah. There's, like, a comparison. It's like what $1 million could get you in LA versus a small town in Michigan. It's insane.
Oh, it's insane.
Yeah. Like, you can buy a really nice mansion in Michigan, and $1 million is like a shack in LA.
Right.
It's not even on the beach or in the city.
Right. The $1 million that you can get in LA, if you look at the same thing, like, $1 million here, you're going to get so much more square footage in your house in Michigan. it's going to look great.
Yeah.
But if you go to LA and $1 million, it looks like just like what a $500 or $500,000.
500,000. Yeah.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah.
Because houses are 500. 500,000.
Wouldn't that be nice?
Right? $500,000 house here would be.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like.
I think I showed you this. That I was like on Zillow and I was just joking around. It was like, there's like $60 million mansion in LA. It's not even. I don't even think it's downtown LA.
It's probably in Calabasas.
I mean, obviously it's really nice, but still, freaking $60 million.
Who can afford that?
Bezos, Jeff Bezos, Bill Gates,
the Kardashians.
But think about like how much wealth you have to just drop that on a house.
Right.
I'm sure if you buy that kind of house, like that doesn't even make a dent in your wealth.
Yeah.
You know, like that's your.
In order to drop that, yeah.
Like that's a second home for you.
But
before
also,
you go on the weekends. It's
funny because I'm just thinking like they're trying to sell that, and how many other people in the world are like, oh, $60 million home?
Wow.
It's a little cheap, but I'll take it.
This place is a dump.
To do all these renovations on it.
It's going to be another $60 million.
It's just not.
I need to add another garage for my Lamborghini.
There's just not enough square footage. Like,
this house doesn't even have a pool. This place is a dump.
It's a dump.
Where are the tennis courts I was promised?
Yeah, right? I was just thinking, like, how hard is that has to be to sell?
Yeah.
I mean...
I feel like if you buy that house, like, you're not planning on moving anytime soon.
Right. Right.
Like, that's just your house until you die.
Right. Pretty much.
Right.
You would think.
You know what I'm going to get? A houseboat. I can just go wherever I want, man.
Oh.
There you go.
There you go.
I wonder how much those are.
Probably not that expensive.
Yeah. But then you have to pay for, like, where you park it. I'm sure that's a lot. I'm sure that's, like, a monthly charge.
Do you have to get taxed on that?
I feel like... I'm sure there's a way that you could.
There's got to be. It's the government. There's a way they're going to get taxed.
I'm sure there's, like, your designated, like, a lot to park your boat. And that's probably... Like,
yeah, but
your lot is probably taxed.
That little section of water.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Oh, it's the government.
Yeah, they're going to find a way.
You're going to get taxed.
Right. Or I wonder if it's, like, depends on how big your boat is or what.
I'm sure it's like houses, so...
Yeah, like square footage.
Yeah. Yeah.
Of your boat.
Mm-hmm.
That would make more sense, because, like, I'm sure you could change where you want to park it or wherever. Sorry.
I'm sure there's, like, a fee that you have to pay, like, the marina.
Yeah.
Or wherever, you know.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure.
I'm sure, but...
This is kind of going off on a tangent, but, like, what if you sell your house and buy an RV and just live in that? Like, would you be taxed on that?
No.
Really? I mean, it's a vehicle, technically, so...
I actually know one of our family friends just did that.
Really?
Yeah. Because both of their works are remote.
Okay.
And so they're like, let's just sell our house, buy a really nice RV, and I don't think you would be taxed on that.
Yeah, because it's not a house.
I mean, you pay your taxes that you pay for, like, a car.
Oh, of course.
But I think that would be it.
Yeah. How much do you pay on gas for that?
That I don't know.
Getting like 4 miles a gallon.
Oh, God. I think, and they're driving across country.
Yeah. I'm sure it's under 10 miles a gallon. Because you think trucks don't get, like, F-150s don't get a lot of miles per gallon, so think about an RV, like a full-size RV.
Yeah, I don't know. But they're made for longevity, so it could be different. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's a good question.
How big is that tank, too? Like that gas tank?
Oh, it's got to be huge.
Yeah.
So maybe it does get low mileage, but the tank's bigger, so it doesn't last.
It's got to be like a 50-gallon tank.
Oh my God.
Because I had an Expedition, a Ford Expedition.
Uh-huh.
And that's like a full-size SUV. And that, I think, had a 25-gallon tank.
So, yeah. It's got to...
It's got to be 50 at least. Which is insane.
Yeah, right?
Well, plus... I'm trying to think, like, what other things you would have to do to... Because, like, you have to put... Is it water in there for, like, showers and toilets?
Oh, I don't know how that works.
And then, like, pump electricity in there somehow? I don't know how that works.
Yeah.
I always thought that would be so much fun just to live in an RV and, like, go wherever.
Well, that's what my parents want to do 1 week or 1 month.
Yeah.
In, like, the summer.
Yeah.
They just want to rent an RV and just drive cross country.
Yeah. That would be fun, but, like, I don't know, for me, I would need to come back to a house, you know?
Well, yeah. I wouldn't want to live there permanently.
That would be fun for, like, a few months. Like, that would be
Yeah.
awesome.
Just drive cross country. See everything.
Yeah. Like, I would do that as a trip, for sure.
Oh, yeah. Just take, like, 2 months off of work.
Yeah.
Go across country. That'd be amazing.
Yeah. Let's do it.
I'm down.
All right. Road trip.
I'm doing remote now, so it'd be...
There you go. I wonder how much it is to, like, rent an RV for a couple months, or, like, even 1 month. Is that even an option to rent an RV?
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
They've got to be at least, like, $15,000.
For a month?
For, like, a nice one.
Yeah. Because I'm not getting no trashy RV, all right?
No. No.
I'm getting one of those nice ones where, like, the side pulls out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also that I'm not sleeping in, a little, like...
Like, cramped
little...
Yeah.
No.
No. It's going to be nice. It's going to be the mansion of RVs.
Okay. Perfect.
There we go.
See, that's my kind of lifestyle.
There you go.
Like, not a big city where I feel rushed and just, like...
Yeah, there you go.
On the go all the time. Although I will say, in cities, there's a lot more to do.
Yeah.
Than in small towns.
Well, that's why they're so expensive. It's like, you can do anything.
Mm-hmm.
Go to the beach.
And there's a different, like, transportation system. Like, here...
You have to drive.
You have to drive. And even in Detroit, like, I think we have a public system.
It's not that great.
But no one uses it?
No. But, like, yeah, in any major city, you have buses, the subway.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you think, like, how much more popular Uber is out there. I think we have it in this area, but, like, it's not that. I mean...
Yeah.
You have, like, 2 people in our area that do Uber.
Right.
Where it's like, if you're in the city... I think
if you go to, like, Royal Oak...
Yeah.
Uber would be more...
Mm-hmm. But you go to New York, you have, like...
Oh, it's all Uber.
50 Uber people.
Right.
Within a 2-minute area of you.
And cabs.
Yeah. Cabs, that's right. I mean, Uber is so much better than cabs, but... from my experience.
Oh, yeah. I think in London, I only took an Uber, like, 3 or 4 times.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, you just use the tube or the bus system.
Yeah. That was... I went to Atlanta last year and, like, honestly used the buses, or the train. Just because, like, it's, like, $5 or $6 for, like, a day pass.
Oh, that's not bad.
For an entire day.
Yeah.
But it's like, if you go on Uber, like, 2 or 3 times a day, that's $50. Easily.
Yeah.
So.
Did they have a good transportation system there?
Yeah, it was really good. They had one that ran north and south and then east and west, which is, I know, it's all the stops that you need to go to.
Oh, that's perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think, well, no one wants to use the system in Detroit.
It's just not that popular.
I feel like, isn't it the people mover?
Yeah.
I'm sure people use it, but...
Yeah. Well, I feel like it's just in Detroit, it's easier to drive than it would be in New York.
Yeah.
I feel like it's just like
Yeah.
Detroit is just less
Yeah.
congested, you know?
Agreed.
I don't know.
Because even when you're driving to, like, Comerica, it's not that bad. You're not,
Yeah.
like...
When I guess the People Mover doesn't really cover a big area either. Like, it's really small.
Well,
I don't
that,
know.
and if you're... It's just so much easier if you're going to go from, like, one part of the city to the next to just get in your car
Yeah.
and drive there. Like,
Right.
there's no point in just using...
It's more of a hassle, if anything.
Yeah, because I don't even know where you go to find it.
No. I've seen it going, but I don't know where you go to get on.
I don't even think I've ever seen it going.
Oh.
Until I spent a lot of time in Detroit.
Yeah, clearly.
I go there for concerts.
Yeah, that's it.
Or a baseball game.
Yeah,
That's it.
that's really all you do there.
Yeah.
There's not a whole lot else to do in Detroit.
No. Unless you go to
There are a
casinos.
few good restaurants down there, but yeah.
No.
Yeah. You don't really go to the beach in Detroit. I don't even know if we have any.
I don't think we do.
Yeah, Detroit needs to get a little better. We need to get on top of that.
Yeah. Detroit's just...
We don't talk about Detroit.
No.
You know what's funny is, like, if I ever go out of state, like on vacation or whatever, I'll tell, because I don't tell people I'm from Milford, because, like, who
They
knows
don't
about
know.
Milford?
Right.
So I'll just say, like, I'm from Detroit. And everyone's response is like, oh my gosh.
Oh, I know.
Oh my gosh. Have you ever been shot? Are you part of a gang?
Yeah, they all think we're, like, you're super tough.
Yeah. Like, I'm sorry, I'm not a thug.
Yeah, they think you're, like...
Yeah.
And it's like, no. I live 40 minutes outside of Detroit, where we're normal.
But no. I mean, it's so much easier to say you're from Detroit, but then you have to explain, like, no, I'm not a thug.
Or you put your hand up and go, I'm from here.
Oh, Detroit. Sure.
Detroit's over here. I'm from here.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
But people do. I get the same response, and I'm just like, no.
Yeah, I've been shot. Like, so many times, man. All the time. Be living rough out here, man.
Those mean streets of Milford.
Yeah, that's right. That gangsta life, man.
Oh, yeah.
It's tough.
You know, it's a hard area.
Word.
A lot of gang activity here.
Oh, boy.
Let me tell you.
Anyway. I guess that's about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like we both...
Out of the cities that you've been to, which one is your favorite?
Ooh,
You're going to say Boston, aren't you? Boston's strong, man.
Well...
You're biased. It's okay.
I'm more history, so that's why I like Boston.
Yeah.
I like the history of it. But it's a tie between Nashville and Boston.
Is it?
Yeah.
I have heard great things about Nashville.
I love Nashville.
It's funny, I've never been to either of those cities.
Really?
Yeah.
I love Nashville.
Do you?
Because, like...
I had a coworker that went there and he said, like, you just go on the strip and there's so much to do there.
Oh, yeah. The honky-tonks on there are the best.
Yeah. And I mean, it's like Music City, right?
Oh, yeah. But it's, like, good music.
Yeah.
And, like, it's funny because, like, you'll go into honky-tonks and you're not hearing, like, club music.
Yeah.
You're hearing, like, country singers who are trying to get famous, and they're
Yeah.
really good.
And I've heard that, like, every, like, club or restaurant you go to has, like, someone singing there.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Like, it's a bunch of live music.
It is.
Yeah. And I've also heard that, like, for a city, like, the people are kind of nicer there, like, compared to, like, other cities. I don't know if that's true, but...
I don't know. I think so.
You think so?
I mean...
I see it.
I can see it.
Yeah.
I didn't see anyone being mean.
Right.
Yeah. It's just like Nashville is just those two would definitely be my favorite.
Yeah. Rock on.
What about you?
I mean, LA. Well, I would say like I've been to like the touristy parts, which are overrated for me, but I've been to like the non-touristy parts, which I really like. And when
like where?
Well, you go to like Burbank because they have stuff there, like the Warner Bros. Studios there.
I did like yeah.
Yeah, and like the Burbank area is just really nice.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, anywhere like right outside. I mean, the city isn't bad, but like anywhere outside of the city is nicer.
I don't even think we went to this downtown.
Yeah.
Unless is Hollywood Boulevard considered downtown?
I think it's a part of it. It's kind of an extension of downtown, I think.
Okay. Yeah. No, I liked like Santa Monica.
Yeah.
Similar to you, the outskirts of downtown LA.
Yeah. I remember I went there and just kind of like looking at the movie stuff, and I don't know, for me it felt like home. You know, just like, all right, I'm definitely moving here.
That's how London was when I went there and when I was in 8th grade.
Okay.
But then when I went back the second time, it completely changed.
Really?
And it didn't feel like that. Like, it's a completely different city from when I first went there.
Okay.
And then when I stayed there for 8 weeks, I was like, yeah. I like this place. I wouldn't want to live here.
Yeah.
But I get that feeling of home.
Yeah, for sure. There are some cities that I definitely want to visit that I've never been to, like Nashville and Boston.
We'll go.
Okay.
We'll go.
Like, I want to go to Texas, too.
Yeah. Me and my sister were talking about moving there.
Yeah. Cool, man.
Like, Florida or Texas? We're going to one of the two.
Yeah.
I want to go to Austin. Because I've been to Dallas.
Okay.
But I want to go explore Texas more, too.
Yeah, for sure. I've always kind of wanted to go to New Orleans, too.
Me, too.
That seems like a fun...
Wait, that was one we didn't mention.
There you go. I don't know much about it. But...
I don't either. I've heard it's fun.
Yeah. It's gotta be, right? Like Mardi Gras?
Yeah. I heard it's like a dirty...
Oh, yeah.
Like that dirty South city.
Yeah.
But my favorite show is filmed there. Or one of my favorite shows.
What is it?
Pitbulls and Parolees.
Okay.
It's great.
Yeah.
And you can go to the animal rescue.
There you go.
No, I want to go there too.
Okay.
And I want to go to Seattle.
Yeah. My family and I think I was like 13 or 14, went up to the Alaska area, like southern Alaska, and we kind of stopped and passed through Seattle. So I didn't really see much of it, but it was nice. It seemed nice.
I want to go see.
Yeah.
I want to experience it.
Yeah. I want to experience Portland as well. Because, I mean, Oregon just seems like, I don't know, kind of like that outdoorsy state.
Yeah. Have you ever been to, like, Colorado or Utah?
I've been to Colorado. I think I was just outside of Denver, maybe.
Okay. Because they have that similar feel, too, right?
Yeah. Like, everyone's always going on a hike.
Yeah.
But...
For sure.
Yeah, like, I don't know if I ever lived in a place like that, it wouldn't be for long, but it'd be cool to experience it.
Right. And that's why I went to London, because I was like, I want to experience it.
Yeah.
But you don't want that, I didn't want that commitment of, like...
Being there forever.
A year.
Yeah.
2 years. You know, it was like, okay, 8 weeks.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
You get the feel for it.
Right.
And you're done.
There you go. Yeah.
And then I got to come home.
Rock on.
It was like America.
Dang it.
Thank God. No.
Yeah.
But, so, are those like your main three that you want to go to? Boston, Nashville, and Portland?
I think so. Definitely Boston, because I know that's like a big city that I've never been to, so.
You should just come to Cape Cod with us next summer, and we can
Let's
just
do it.
go to Boston.
Let's do it.
And I'll force you to go to Salem, too.
Okay, dude, you're not forcing me anywhere. I'll go.
Like...
And then when I live in LA, I'll fly you out. Can explore the area.
I mean, who says I'm not going to just move there with you?
Well, listen, you can help me out with rent. It's going to be great.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So, therapists probably get paid 10 times more out there.
But everything is sometimes more expensive, so...
True.
You just gotta... What do you have to do? Like, move your license out there? Get certified?
I'd probably have to take another class or two.
Okay.
To get my license.
Ugh, that's such a hassle.
Yeah. I know I'd have to take, like, a...
Would you have to do it in California?
Yeah.
Okay. Like, you couldn't do it in Michigan and then move out there.
Unless it's online, maybe.
There you go.
I'd have to look into that.
That might be an option.
Each state has, like, different requirements. Like, I know...
Yeah, I'm sure California... Well...
If you're coming from, like... If you're transferring to Michigan, you have to take a human trafficking...
Okay.
class, which we have to take those every, like, year or two anyway, because we're, like, the second largest state for it.
Okay.
So you have to know it. So each state, it depends on, like, if there's issues like that you have to be educated on.
Well, California has a lot of issues.
Yeah.
Oh, we're not going to get into that.
I'm sure you have to take classes on, like, a diversity, so you're, like, more educated about the diversity in that state.
Yeah.
And then I'm
or
sure...
maybe, like, just the area where you live. I don't know.
Who knows, but...
Yeah. Let me know when you finish those up, and then we'll move.
Okay, perfect.
Let's do it. But we'll rent an RV first, go over to Boston, and then cross-country back over to California. Let's do it.
We do
go down south to, like, New Orleans and Texas.
Oh my god, that'd be perfect.
We gotta hop back up to Portland, and then come back down to California.
Portland, Seattle, LA.
Yeah, there you go.
Love it.
There we go. Gotta stop by to see my brother in San Francisco.
We can go to Alcatraz.
There you go.
Always wanted to go there.
Yeah. That's kind of fun.
I want to go.
Yeah. It's really cool, because, like, you can go in one of the cells.
That's what I want to do.
And, like, just see, like, I don't know, the main area where they hold all the prisoners, and, like, yeah. Like, it's kind of eerie.
Oh,
yeah.
I bet. Because I went to a jail in Ireland.
Yeah.
Like, it was in Dublin. I think it's called Kilmaham's jail. And it was where they kept, like, all the the higher-ups of the IRA. Yeah. So it was, like, and it was eerie. Because you walked through, like, the older part of it, which I'm sure is, like, what Alcatraz looks like. And you just felt, there was, like, a vibe.
Yeah. Well, and then there's, like, the regular jail, and then there's, like, the...
That's how Kilmaham's was, where, like, the nicer, or not nicer, but where they kept, like...
Well, not even just that, but the...
like, the
confined...
The more,
high... I'm totally blanking on what it's called.
There's a word.
Yeah.
There's a word. Like, the higher risk.
Yeah.
But that's not the word. I know what you're talking about. But anyway.
Yeah. Like, there's, like, your regular jail cell, and then there's like, the...
Like,
the one you get banished to.
Oh, isolation?
Isolation, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, there are those cells.
Uh-huh.
That are, like, even more creepy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's, like, the worst torture, is isolation.
Yeah. And they don't just put you in there for a day, it's, like, a month.
Yeah. You're in there. Yeah.
Yeah. You know what we should do is research different jails for the next podcast.
Be interesting.
That would be interesting. We'll let you guys know. You'll see.
We're also thinking of doing, like, a comedian thing, but we'll see.
We'll see.
See how we feel.
You guys will find out. Anyway, I guess that's about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was fun. We talked more than I thought we would.
We have opinions on cities, apparently.
Wow, apparently. Yeah, I just want to go to all the big cities, especially the ones I haven't been to.
I do
just
too.
Experience, like, the different lifestyles in each one, you know?
Yeah.
For sure.
I go through phases where I want to see, like, the bigger cities, but then I also want to see, like the outskirts of them.
Yeah.
You know?
100%, man.
Like, I want to go to Albuquerque.
Okay.
Just so I can see Breaking Bad.
There you go.
But, I also would, like, it'd be interesting to see, like, the towns outside of it that aren't, like, bigger cities.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, man.
You know?
That's right.
Yeah.
Good stuff. All right. Well, again,
that's it.
have a good week, guys. Hope you guys had a good Thanksgiving. Getting ready for the holidays.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully they're not too stressful.
Right? As if we need more stress.
Right.
Ugh. Anyway.
Until, yeah.
Man, oh man. All right, yeah. Have a good week, guys, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.